Step forward about 3 steps, and here's the podium.
Thank you, sir.
Microphone's right here.
Thank you very much. Found it. All right, so I know everyone's butt's a little tingly, and we've been here for a while, but this is a really big moment for me, so just hang with me for about 8 minutes. I always try to say, start from a place of gratitude no matter what you're doing. Oh, dang it. So the video said I live in Princeton with my daughter, Rooney May. That's actually a very new thing. She was born 14 days ago, so... So needless to say, I haven't slept a lot in the last 14 days, and this is a very emotional thing, so we're probably going to get choked up a couple times. But starting from a place of gratitude, I want to thank a few people. This is not an exhaustive list. I don't have notes, but I want to thank, first and foremost, my friends and family who have been with me every step of the way, from deciding I wanted to go to the Naval Academy in the first place. Actually, when I told my dad I wanted to go to the Naval Academy, he said, "You sure you don't want to go to art school?" And that was my dad's way of making sure I was committed to coming to this institution, and I love him for that. But I want to thank my friends and family for being with me every step of the way, from coming here, chugging through the 4 years, going on my career to places like Iraq and Afghanistan, but then especially when times turned tough and I came back and found myself in the hospital, you know, I really leaned on them to get myself going again, so I want to thank them. I want to thank my classmates. This was not something I took too lightly. I don't really feel like I should be up here, but the fact that my class put me forward for this, I told you it's the sleep debt. The fact that my class put me forward for this means the world to me. I've had the opportunity to have some awards from my combat service pinned on my uniform. I've had the opportunity to stand on the podium where I was given a gold medal, and I can tell you definitively, going fast in the pool or breaking a world record doesn't mean nearly as much as commanding the respect of my classmates in this institution, and this is by far my greatest honor. It's not my proudest accomplishment, though. That was my daughter. That was 2 weeks ago. So I want to thank my class of 2006, for believing in me and putting me forward. I'm really incredibly proud to represent you guys up here today. And then I want to thank my beautiful wife. This is really exciting for me because we married later. We married well after I was out of the military, after I had come to this place. This is really one of the first opportunities we get to come inside Alumni Hall together. So I'm really excited to share this part of my life with her. And I'm really excited about the fact that we get to go home to Rooney May here in a couple hours. So, okay, when I was thinking about what I would say today, I was thinking about, what's unique about what I bring to the table. And I told you already, I was kind of already thinking that I'm a little on the younger side. I don't fit the typical profile of my distinguished graduates. And so I was thinking, I wonder if I've actually made it. You know, I don't know if I've made it. I don't know if I've made the cut. Then I thought to myself, well, what is making it anyway? And then I was actually asking some of them earlier, I wonder if my distinguished graduates feel like they've made it. Do you guys feel like you've made it? Like it's time to now just play golf and just enjoy the rest of life? I imagine I'm getting some shaking heads, right? Which one of you nodded? So what I was kind of thinking about is I'm going to give you guys the anti-inspirational speech, which is funny for me because the video said I was inspirational a bunch of times, but I'm going to say right to you today, the theme of my speech is, to the brigade, none of you are ever going to make it, so stop trying. Now, obviously, that's not what I mean. Let me explain what I mean by that. You guys have all probably heard classmates of yours lay out their whole career right in front of you. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to be brigade commander, and then I'm going to go and be a SWO, and then I'm going to go to my ship, and I'm going to be a divo, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go get my master's, and then I'm going to go do this and that and the other thing. One of you said it, but you can have a life plan all day long. I guarantee you it's not going to go that way. And if you're laying everything out that way, and that's your primary focus, you're going to miss a lot of magical stuff along the way. My suggestion to you today is instead of thinking about your entire career all at once and focusing on the wickets along the way, getting from your plebe year to your youngster year to second class year, first class year to your service selection to your first command, so on and so forth, forget all that. Live in the moment. Be here now. Be in Alumni Hall and listen to the words of these wise men and women. Embrace that. Focus on that. And do that for the rest of your career. Make the most of every moment. Your career is not going to be a bunch of line items on a resume that they played a Pirates of the Caribbean music. It's going to be a bunch of amazing memories, incredible moments. For me, it was that letter that came to my front door in Florida that said, "You've been invited to join the class, the great class of 2006. There we go. Thank you, guys. That was your cue. I remember this moment where we all arranged ourselves in T court, and the superintendent, who's here, came out to us and welcomed us. And even though our detailers had said, sit there and put your hands on your knees and eyes on the boat, I was looking around. And I couldn't believe it. I was here. I was part of the Naval Academy. And the superintendent said, "Welcome, you're a part of class of 2006. I couldn't believe it. I remember when I came here as a high schooler, and what I was so astounded by is all the midshipmen were walking by in their uniform to class, and everybody's name was stitched on their shirt. I thought that was so cool. Everyone comes here and they always say, like, you shave your head and you lose your identity, but here, your name is so important that it's stitched on your shirt. I had a bunch of shirts at that point. None of them had my name on it. How amazing is it that you're a part of an institution where you matter? You matter so much that everyone needs to know your name. And here I was, sitting there in my white works with my name tag on, a part of the class of 2006. It was an incredible moment. But I would say that I kind of lost that as well. As I went through my career, I got really focused on, get through this exam, get through this term, get from plebe year to youngster year to second class year. I could never wait to get to the next wicket. This idea of making the most of every moment definitely came true for me, or hit me the hardest on September 7th, 2011, when I got blown up. And I laid there on the ground for what seemed like eternity to me. And I had been an EOD officer for some time at that point. I knew that I had been in a 40-pound blast, and I knew the likelihood that I had lived through the blast was low. And I thought I was dead. And in that moment, I thought through all the things that I had done up until that point, and I thought that I was proud of my life. I reconciled my death, and I accepted it, and I was okay with it. But then this magic thing happened where I came back. I came back to life. And now, in the 11 years since, it's been a series of moments that I might not have had. They're bonus levels, each year, each moment. And they're all special. They're precious. They're magical. So I hope for all of you, I hope you don't have to get blown up in Afghanistan to realize that this moment is special. And the one that comes after it is just as precious. You guys, and all of those moments came at the sacrifices of people who died so that we could be here in this country and have the liberties and freedoms that we have. Friends of mine, friends of yours have died so that we can have this moment. I think you owe it to them to make the most of this moment. Forget about your career. Forget about your lineal number. Forget about that joint tour in Sicily you have to do because it's really essential to your pipeline. Do your job. Do your job well. Do good work, and the rest will follow. There are 3 things that I want to extend off of this idea of making the most of each individual moment. For me, as an athlete, it's really critically important to put in the time, put in the reps, go down into my garage and get on the bike with my wife and work as hard as we can. And I'm always staring at my phone because it's reading out this number, the number of watts that I'm pushing out on the bike. And I have to push myself as hard as possible. I have to really focus on getting to the boundary of my capability and pushing just that much further, just a little bit harder. 1 more watt, 2 more watts, 3 more watts. I have to absolutely focus to do that, to expand my capability. What I would argue for you today is to get better at anything requires the same level of focus. If you want to really wrap your head around very complex math or international relations or political science, deep philosophy, you have to focus. You have to read hard stuff. You have to do those mental reps and push yourself to the boundary of your capability and then push yourself just a little bit further. It requires deep focus. A concern of mine is looking at the way that we all live our daily lives. We all have one of these in our pocket, and it's constantly dinging, telling us that people on TikTok liked our photo, and people on our email are looking for us to schedule another meeting, and so on and so forth. That stuff's important, but make sure you're carving out time for deep focus so that you can make the most of yourself, expand the boundary of your capability incrementally over time. The second extension off of the idea of making the most of every moment is investing yourself in people. If you get lost in the rat race and you're just working your way from one place to another and you try to rush to class so that you can get ready for your exam and you can read your book and you can go on and meet the wickets of your career, you miss all the people that you pass along the way. Make the most of those moments. You never know what interaction is going to make someone's day. Just saying hello, how are you? You call customer service to whine about your cell phone bill being overcharged or something along those lines. Ask that person their name. Make that something special because all of us, we get into this habit of transaction after transaction after transaction. All of you have the power and influence to take all those transactions and make them transformational. Invest yourself in people. That's the number one lesson in leadership as far as I'm concerned. If you're compassionate about people, you're invested in their well-being, they will know. And they will follow you. They will do whatever you are leading them to do because they know you care. If you can't prove that to them, there's no reason they'll ever follow you. There's no hope that you'll ever earn truly the respect of the people you're working with. You have to invest yourself in their well-being. That's the number one leadership lesson as far as I'm concerned. The third extension and the last one off of this idea of making the most of every moment. If you look at your life as a succession of moments, inevitably, you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. I certainly have. In fact, full disclosure, I'm not wearing cufflinks, and this is a French cuffed shirt. I forgot. We make mistakes. One of the critical skills of anybody who's going to be a distinguished graduate or successful or fulfilled or happy in the long term, you have to learn to forgive yourself. Part of forgiving yourself, though, and I've heard every one of these folks say it, you have to own your mistakes. You have to own up to what you did. Look, I dropped that, I tried to lift that barbell and I didn't make it and I dropped it. I shouldn't have driven home and I did, and I have to pay the price for that. I have to own that mistake. I should have brought cufflinks and I didn't. You get the point. You have to own the mistake, otherwise it will haunt you forever. You can't hide from those mistakes. The second you own it, the second you stand up in front of your people and say, look, I made a mistake, here's where I went wrong, and here's how I'm going to fix it moving forward, that moment's gone. It's gone. You're on to the next moment. You're on to the next opportunity to make yourself better. Mistakes, failure is inevitable. The way you handle it is up to you. You have to make that choice to own up to your mistakes, do the hard thing, look your people in the eye and say, look, I messed up. I'm human. But I'm going to make the commitment to you to get better. Those are all the points that I have off this idea of making the most of every moment, but I will leave you with this idea that it is a choice. And it's a choice that you constantly have to make. It's not a set it and forget it. You're going to wake up every day, and that alarm clock's going to go off. And you have to make that choice. Do I hit that snooze button, or do I seize the day? My hope is that you're going to make that seize the day choice over and over and over again. My hope is that you're going to look for opportunities to make yourself incrementally better over time. My hope is that you're going to invest yourself in all the people you come across in your amazing journey in the United States Navy or the United States Marine Corps. My hope is that when you inevitably make a mistake, when you fail, you're going to own it. You're going to do the hard thing and tell people, I made this mistake, I'm human, but I'm going to fix it. And I want you to know, when you make that choice, we're here for you. The United States Naval Academy Alumni Network is the strongest in the world. We're here for you. We are willing to go to bat for you. I'm the beneficiary of amazing mentors in this group. Admiral Morneau, Admiral Andros, Doc Thomas, Dr. Ledford have really helped me stay on the straight and narrow and put me on the right path. We're here for you. But I want you to know that we expect a lot. When I got the call about Distinguished Grad, I looked at my life and I looked at all that stuff that played in the video. To me, and I mean this with 100% honesty, I don't feel like anything I've ever done was exceptional. I feel like what I did on the battlefield, after my injury, in the Paralympics, I did what you all expect me to do. I did what I think if a guy or a gal found themselves in those situations, that's what I would expect you to do as well. So I want you to know, I expect a lot. Don't let me down. Thank you.
I'm on your right side, Brad. Thank you, sir. Well done.